There's a great video of Jack Nicholson on the set of The Shining, and he's like super in character as Jack Torrance, and he's swinging the axe around and he's screaming like murder, axe kill, and the crew's kind of ducking under him and everything. But everything that I've heard about Bill Skarsgård is kind of the opposite. He's just kind of on set as Pennywise, just kind of cracking jokes, and he's himself.
Yeah.
Is that better or worse for your method of acting? Would your experience have been better or worse if he had been like full method as Pennywise?
I don't want an actor running around next to me with an axe,
No.
like making me think, are you in your right mind
Are you
before we do
okay?
this scene?
Yeah.
Are we gonna be okay?
Yeah.
You saw that video, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy.
Probably wouldn't have had dinner with him. Probably would have just not invited him to dinner, I think. Would have been.
Yeah, you'd be like, hey, he's so intense doing it. Yeah.
Let it go. Was he just, I mean, was there, what was like the weirdest conversation you guys had with him while he was in full-blown Pennywise?
Really, I mean, yeah, we were talking about like movies and music and stuff, but nothing really.
Yeah,
It was all kind of normal, and it actually wasn't so much like. It was just that he was, committed to his character when he was in it, But when everybody's kind of like that. And I think when you're in this business, you see that a lot, where people are in crazy costumes and they're doing something weird, but in between stuff, you're just chatting or mostly giving him shit that you don't have to be in that costume.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
it's
more
mostly
what it is.
like,
It's thank God I don't have to show up at.
Yeah, what day? When did you get in today, man?
Yeah,
And
he
he's
was
like,
3:30 in the morning.
But Skarsgård, when they call action, that guy is fully in, fully immersive, unpredictable. He's like a wild animal. So there is this kind of natural kind of reaction going on from being in a scene with him. But yeah, as soon as they call cut, he is the funniest, loveliest man.
Is it weirder to see him in full Pennywise mode, like going all out, or weirder to have a conversation about the game the night before as he's dressed as Pennywise?
I mean, I don't think it ever got to that point. I mean, when he's in his entity of the makeup and everything, he is quite calm and ready to delve in, because he's very physical. It takes a lot of work, and the energy is just kind of frenetic and buzzing off him. So that kind of is at the end of the day when we're out of costume.
Long before there was a Marvel Cinematic Universe, there was like a Stephen King universe, because a lot of his characters cross over into different books. I think there were a couple of characters from It. They're in a couple of other books of his, I think 11, 22, 63. So if you could see Pennywise dropped into any other famous Stephen King story and haunt those people, who would you want to see? What other story would you like to see him drop in?
It would be so cool to have Stephen King. I mean, wait, maybe
Pennywise?
not. I was about to say Stand By Me.
Stand By Me, but that would be
But
so...
that's it then.
That's the wholesome movie. We
Then
don't need
that's
to...
it. Then that's it.
Whoa, man. That's a really good question.
I feel like The Shining would.
Yeah, I was
Oh my
literally about
God.
to say The
It's
Shining.
like
The Shining would be interesting.
him running around the Outlook Hotel would be like kind of fitting and
Yeah,
like
very
really
fitting.
terrifying. I
He'd
think.
look good in the hallway,
Yeah.
against the hallway carpet.
I'm curious, like, what would Jack Torrance's fear be? Like, if he turned into like what Jack Torrance was most scared of, that would be.
Does Jack Torrance have any fears?
That's like a good character study. If
big
it
Oh
was
my
like
God! I feel like we're getting like really
Yeah, we're
deep
getting
first
deep.
question of the day.
Well, what's the one? Maximum Overdrive.
Oh,
That'd be hilarious.
that I would say that's a different direction
Like
of
a
Stephen
clown
King.
car. Like a clown
Yes.
car.
Oh yeah.
Or Carrie. He'd be good.
Oh my God,
like killing,
yeah.
killing
Oh,
all the bullies
yeah.
and Carrie.
Oh my God.
Helping Carrie out.
I like this.
The one time for good.
See,
Yeah.
this we could do. Where's Steven at right now?
Steven?
You guys have him on your on.
He just lowers
he did
down,
lower-
right?
yeah. Guys, I'm here.
Like Spider-Man, he just comes down.
Guys, I'm here.
It's like crawling on the ceiling.
Speaking of Stephen King, I'm a huge fan of his, like I said, but there are a lot of moments whenever I'm reading his books or watching his movies, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, like, who thinks of something like this? If you could sit in a theater with Stephen King, watch these two movies, and when they're over, lean over and go, where the hell did that part come from? What is the part you'd want to ask him about?
Yeah, he was on a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
He was.
Maybe the clown aspect. I just want to know why a clown.
Maybe it's from Gacy. Remember the...
Yeah.
Yeah, outside Chicago.
He was a clown, right? Professional clown.
Yeah.
I'd like to know where he got the idea with the sewer.
I feel like it would be like an uncomfortable, awkward silence. Like after it'd be like, so, what was your childhood like? That must have been fun.
I would ask him more about other specific moments in the novel that never made it to screen that we probably can't talk about on TV.
Yeah, I think there's
there's
definitely
one scene
one
that I would definitely ask him about, but
there's definitely, well, he was on a lot of drugs
that's what I've been told.
in the 80s.
Warner Brothers are good. Red light.
Good guy, yeah. And this is the last junket Jake ever did for Warner Brothers.
I asked him one time. The one time I asked him something. I asked him where he came up with all the stuff from the black spot. I'm like, that's pretty like descriptive. And
Oh, yeah.
He said that there was like an actual place in Maine that was like known for like having been attacked by white supremacist.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But he has a crazy, like he has all this kind of weird, coincidental, strange stuff happen to him too. Like that story about how, I think, because he ended up like getting hit by a van, right?
Yeah.
So like, and then the whole story with that about how, like, so he got hit by a van because a guy turned around to look at his 2 Rottweilers, right? And then all of a sudden, he ended up on painkillers for a year, and then after the day that he stopped taking the painkillers was the day the guy in the van died.
So much of this movie is about making sure that as you get older, you don't forget the small details and the little moments in your life that kind of craft who you are. In 27 years, what is a moment or a small detail about the making of this movie that you want to make sure that you never forget?
Ooh. That's a great question.
Our friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we're all gonna be like friends
I
forever
think so.
and ever. There's no other way. Yeah, if it's, I mean, it's true.
The entire thing overall. I mean, like, I couldn't have asked for a better experience. I mean, I'm talking about the first one. The second one was terrible. The first one, like, it was just like such an experience of a lifetime. And I know that sounds cliche, but the best way to put it is like, I made the most incredible friends I've ever had in my entire life. I shot the greatest movie I will probably ever be in.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I asked this question to the guys next door, and they gave me a very specific answer.
Yeah.
Scales. I never want to forget Scales. the name.
Scales.
You can never forget
What does that mean?
There was an inside joke where
Yeah.
Jack did a movie called Scales. And he would talk about it all the time, and it never came out.
But like,
And-
No,
I
it's
always
on
remember
Amazon.
It never came out.
It's on
It's on Amazon, but
Oh,
we
it's
just
on Amazon.
always said Scales, and I never want to forget that was like
The running
our
joke.
big movie. Like that was our deal, like Scales.
Yeah.
Is it actually out now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Scales,
cool. So, because I haven't
yes.
talked to him yet, so I'll bring
yeah,
it up.
ask him
Please,
about
yes,
Scales.
please.
Yes, bring it
Okay, so
up.
have you guys seen Scales?
Yes.
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 All right,
Yes.
all right, I'm gonna do it. Have you guys ever seen the movie Scales?
Oh, stop! What are you doing?
They said that the thing that they will never forget
Just watching
is
Scales.
constantly being told about a film called Scales.
They were the ones bringing it up all the time.
Wow.
They told me to ask you about
A
it.
Mermaid's
I thought
Tale.
that joke
Scales.
was
It's a movie that I'm in.
That's
called
what they said.
Scales. And it stars Morgan Fairchild and Emmy Perry.
He convinced us that Morgan Freeman was in the movie, and then I watched it, and
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
where's Morgan Fairchild? I was like, oh, he got cut
didn't
out.
know
He got
Morgan Fairchild
cut.
was in it.
He wasn't good enough to make the final cut.
But Morgan Fairchild was.
But Morgan Fairchild was. I'm actually really excited to see this now.
No, you don't need to.
No.
Yeah, man, you don't need to.
Well, obviously, whenever he's not the form of Pennywise, it takes the form of whatever it is you're scared of the most. If you were going to run into Pennywise in a dark alley, what form would he specifically take for you?
Donald Trump.
I was gonna say.
All the Warner Brothers publicists right now are going, oh my
Oh my God, it got political in 5 minutes.
Press junket.
It would just be me going, all right, guys, I got some questions for you.
It'd be me like, walking down a dark alley, and then you're there going like, so are you afraid of clowns?
I need to change my second question really fast.
Did you read the book?
I'm not going. I'm going to choose a very easy answer and just say a snake.
IRS auditor, maybe?
Nice.
Yeah, I would say that, you know how like when you use the bathroom and then like if you don't like if you dribble, just like if you had that stain and you didn't know it, like, and then someone told you like, oh man, what happened to you over there? And you're like, oh, sorry, man.
No.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good call.
I don't know. That's not the.
I'm afraid
Can
of
he
that.
manifest that as a clown? Or can the clown manifest
I think that's
that?
also like
A
something you really
perpetual.
fix really easily.
Yeah, you wear dark
Like if
pants.
that happened, you just wait till it stops dribbling. But you're saying your fear is that it never stops.
It never
dribbling.
Never stop.
You look at the little
That's a horror movie.
And you look at it, it's just a clown face.
I watched a lot of interviews for Chapter 1, and I saw a lot of people asking you guys about the film being R-rated, and at the time you guys not being old enough to actually being able to get into it. But I'm curious, when it actually came out, when Chapter 1 came out in the theaters, did any of you guys actually try to go buy a ticket at a movie theater to see if you could get in on your own?
I did.
Did they let you in?
Yeah, well, I brought older people. As
Okay,
well,
okay.
so-
But like
I
you didn't try
didn't.
to, because I didn't know like if you
I
weren't
pulled
of age.
I pulled a
Pulled a
Sharon
Sharon
Tate.
Tate.
Holy!
I knew you were gonna say that.
And I was gonna be
Anyway.
like, I'm actually in this movie. Want to take a picture of me next to the poster? Oh, what the? I was about to say that, dude.
I did a premiere at my local theater.
That's
and,
insane. That's
I
Not you.
I actually was almost like not being able to get
Denied?
into the movie because my mom brought in my ticket and I had to go use the bathroom and the guy was like, I'm gonna need your ticket, and I was like, my mom brought it in. He was like, well, I'm gonna need it, and I was like, well,
I'm in the
crap.
movie.
Like I don't want to
How
say.
do you do that without like kind of seeming pretentious?
Yeah, I don't want to say
It's
like.
hard not. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's a
Fun fact, I'm
That's
in a
the compromise. You have to be a little bit arrogant to get into your own movie without paying.
Would they stop you guys from going in because you're not 17 or 18 or whatever
I
age?
just turned 18.
Did you? Oh, so you're good.
I'll get all of us in.
You're good.
I'm buying all the tickets.
Adult supervision.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, isn't that weird? I could be your adult supervision. Yeah. come now, son.
Can you
Time to
put an
go.
R-rated movie?
Do we know what scales is rated? Can we all see scales?
NC-17.
Okay, gotcha.
Not rated.
Not rated. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
So for people that aren't familiar with the source material, they might not know how weird the finale actually gets if you've read the book. As a director, as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, what is the balance of staying true to the source material that Stephen King wrote and then also not getting so weird for audiences that don't know what's coming as to potentially scare them off, like with a talking turtle?
Well, talking turtle. You're talking about Kermit.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes.
He's not a turtle. He's a frog. Yeah. Sorry, my mind is like a crossover. Yeah. Well, as there is a balance. There is a balance that you have to reach, and I think it's mostly instinctive. You know, as a filmmaker, you tend to tell a story to yourself first, and and you have to find that balance. I think that for starters, I wanted to tell the story from a very human perspective, which sort of immediately leaves in the other side, like everything that is related to the macroverse and all that craziness about the turtle and the other side is is kept on the cryptic side in my storytelling. Precisely because I want to keep it mysterious. So that's what it is. You know, that balance is actually reached through a perspective, the point of view of human characters, and there is another side. But the moment that you go to the other side, it becomes a bit of a fantasy movie. You know, so it's a crossover of almost like a genre crossover that I wasn't really interested in, because I really want to focus on the human story of it. There is a supernatural presence. There is Pennywise, which is an interdimensional entity, but I think the more cryptic and mysterious you keep it, the most effective it is as a monster.
Speaking of Pennywise, I've sort of noticed between chapter 1 and chapter 2, Bill Skarsgard hasn't done a ton of on-camera interviews. I know he wasn't there for like the Conan thing at Comic-Con. He's not really doing a ton of interviews at the junket. I'm curious as to how much is that your decision so that the audience out there, we don't get used to sort of seeing him and then potentially take away from the fear of Pennywise?
It's not my decision. It's not my choice, because I'm friends with Bill, and I'm also care about his career. But you know, there's a bit of an idea that we all sort of are in the same page with which is you know, the less we expose Bill as a human being.
Right.
Sorry, Bill. The less familiar the audiences will be with him, and eventually the monster will be, you know, still scary.
For sure. We were talking before the camera started rolling about sort of longer versions of this movie, and I don't know if you saw a couple of years ago, HBO did a thing where they took Godfather's Part 1 and 2 and then kind of deassembled them in their it's chronological order. Whenever people have been talking about sort of this epic one giant version of it, would you take chapters 1 and 2 and just squish them together, or are you looking to deassemble both parts and then reassemble a whole new thing?
I would never reassemble them. I am thinking of a supercut, which is basically the two movies told in, you know, one after the other, adding everything that is that was lifted from them for length purpose. Great scenes that are more like character moments or things that we have to lift, you know, for other reasons. I'm also very excited about shooting extra material.
You're going to shoot more?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
I can't tell. This is
I'm getting the rap right. No, this is you gotta.
I can't tell you, and this is only like an expression of desire. Of course, the supercut is something that is yet not out as an idea. We have to talk about it.
Right.
But I definitely want to make a supercut with material that nobody has seen because it was lifted from chapter 2. But also, yeah.
If you had to guess
new stuff,
really
new
quick,
material.
as they're pulling me out of here, what the final length for the supercut would be, what would you say?
Would probably be somewhere around 6 hours and a half.
Please do.
Or something.
Please, I'm begging you. Please do this. Dude,
I will.
seriously, on behalf of Stephen King fans, thank you for nailing this, man.
you
Really,
so much,
congratulations.
man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm very excited. Thank you very much. Guys, seriously, thank you for absolutely nailing the ending, and you guys are absolutely perfect in it. And you're always so kind to me, and it was a pleasure to meet you. So
You
seriously,
too, man.
thank you
Thanks for bringing the fashion, man.
I try to.
You
I
do
try.
every
Yeah.
single
I try to
time.
bring the fashion and some fresh questions, and thank you guys for always being so great. So thanks very much. Have a great day.
Bye.
Hopefully that wasn't too painful for you, man.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. No, that was
Easy.
fun. That was
Easy.
fun. That
Thank
was
you.
awesome. That was
Appreciate it,
awesome.
guys. Take care.
That was awesome. Nice suit, dude.
Thank you very
Yeah, I
much.
like the suit actually. I was checking that out. It's cool.